Welcome to WNL Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. This week we'll speak with wrestling coach Nathan Shearer, men's basketball captain Patrick O'Connor, and men's swimming captain Harris Prichard. But first, a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and Lee athletics. Women's basketball picked up its fourth straight win, downing Emory and Henry 65-61 at the Warner Center, while the men's team fell 73-60 on the road to 8th-ranked Virginia Wesleyan. Both swimming teams picked up victories, with the men downing Hampton-Sydney 107-28 and the women defeating Sweetbriar 134-60. And Ron Tassoni, Bennett Lewis, and Matt Kaminer all won individual championships as wrestling placed second out of 10 teams at the WNL Invitational. With me in the studio is wrestling coach Nathan Shearer. Nathan, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks, Jeremy.
How pleased were you with the way the Generals performed on Saturday?
We had a really nice tournament. Coming off of a break, we had 6 wrestlers in the finals. We're still not to full strength, but we did really well. We had second place finish, and like I said, I think we could have even improved on that had we had a full lineup. But all things considered, coming back from break, a really nice tournament.
Your captain, Ron Tassoni, was the Centennial Conference champion at 174 pounds last year. Bennett Lewis was the runner-up at 197. Not to put too much pressure on just a couple of guys, but what are your expectations for those two in particular this year?
Well, my only real expectation is that they lead by example in that their preparation when they step on the mat and go into competition, their intensity, their focus, and their game plan, and leading by example in those ways. As far as result-wise, we don't put a big emphasis on putting too much pressure that way, but just their preparation when they go into competition, maximum effort at all times.
You've challenged your team with a very tough schedule. At the Gator Duels right before Christmas, you faced top 25 teams, Alma and Elmhurst. How does that help your program from preparing for this year's postseason all the way to recruiting?
Right, our tournament and dual meet schedule is very competitive. In addition to those two teams, if you add in the tournaments, it'll be 7 top 25 teams, and before we end of the year, it'll be, right now with the rankings, 13 total. I think facing the tough competition with the goals that our guys have, to get there, you kind of have to face the people that are ahead of you or have been there, so that's the game plan with that.
The Generals begin Centennial action this weekend against Merchant Marine and Muhlenberg. What's the scouting report on the conference this year?
I think we can improve on last year's finish, both in the duels and at the conference championships. We've been training hard. Season's been going really well for us, and we'll see how the next month goes. But we're definitely very excited, and I think ready to sprint to the finish.
Nathan, thanks for joining us here. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm joined now by Harris Prichard, junior swimming captain from Houston. Harris, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Nathan.
Saturday's meet against Catholic will be the last of the season for the Generals at Cy Twombly Pool. How important is it to finish up the home schedule on a strong note?
It's always really important for us to finish up the season strong. We've got 2 meets left, and this will be the last meet of the season at the Cy Twombly Pool. But what we really focus on in this final meet is the seniors on the team. It's a senior meet, and we like to honor our seniors, and it's a really important meet to them. So for the rest of the team to really step up and support them, and all of us swim fast, would be really great for us.
There are several seniors on the women's team, but your co-captain Alex Cram is the only one on the men's roster. What are the benefits and challenges of having a leadership role in such a young team?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that being the only senior guy, Alex Cram has been doing a really great job of stepping up and being a great leader on this team. The benefits of having a leadership role on such a young team are that it really gives us a lot of hope going into the future. Most teams have a really strong senior class, and you think, man, once they go, what's going to happen? But having such a bottom-heavy team is really cool and comforting, and it's going to be it's just really cool to look into the future.
After swimming in the Bluegrass Mountain Conference for your first 2 years, you and the Generals will now have a chance to compete for an Old Dominion Athletic Conference title, much like the women and most other teams at Washington and Lee. What would it mean to the men's swimming team to win the first ever ODAC title in that sport?
Yeah, this is something that's new to us, the ODAC Championship, and it would really mean a lot to us. We really want to come in and try to set a precedent for this conference that WNL is a strong team and that we're a force to reckon with, and that if other teams want to beat us, that they're going to have to step up and come face us.
What can the Generals accomplish in the postseason?
Well, the postseason for us is a really delicate time. I think at the beginning of the postseason, our focus is really to just get as strong as we possibly can before we start cutting down practices as we move into the taper period. The main objective of the postseason is really just to get us ready for that final conference meet and to get mentally and physically rested and prepared.
Harris, thanks for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Here with me now is Patrick O'Connor, senior basketball captain from Richmond. Patrick, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
The Generals are 1-3 in the ODAC so far. You could easily be 3-1. How important was it to finish off last Wednesday's game against Emory and Henry after the close calls you had against Eastern Mennonite and Bridgewater?
Yeah, certainly. Andy Kleinlein hit 2 big free throws in the last couple seconds for us to pull ahead and win against Emory and Henry. But between our first 3 games, they were decided by a total of 4 points. And we expected that going into those games, and we expect close games moving forward. So we are excited for the challenge, and we are looking forward to getting more close wins like we did last Wednesday.
Several first years are contributing pretty heavily to the WNL team so far this season. Clayton Murtha is obviously putting up great numbers, but guys like Joe Sherwood and Nicholas George are playing some big minutes for you as well. How exciting is it to see those guys have an impact right away? Absolutely.
I would even say my whole career, whether it was my freshman year, Javon McDonald, my sophomore year, Andrew Franz, last year, Andy Kleinlein played a significant part, and this year it's Clayton Murtha and Joe Sherwood and Nick George. I think that's a testament to how attractive our school is to potential scholar athletes, and our coaches for doing a good job recruiting. But we're obviously very, very happy to have all 5 of our freshmen too.
There are quite a few players from the Richmond area that populate rosters across the ODAC. What has it been like for you to play against the same guys in high school and now into college?
Yeah, it is pretty cool seeing how guys grow up, I guess you could say. It's also cool, going back for the summers and playing pickup basketball and, working out with them. And kind of, I always like getting a feel for, what their college experience is like at an Eastern Mennonite or Randolph College or Randolph-Macon. So it is really cool seeing them grow. And I'm also interested to see what they do after college, too. It'll be interesting.
The vast majority of the ODAC schedule is still in front of you. What do the Generals need to do to have a successful season in conference play?
Well, like I said earlier, we are expecting close games. So I say moving forward, we need to trust what we worked on in practice and understand that there are going to be pressure times and kind of relish those moments and really be confident in what we've worked on and know that we can get wins when it comes down in the stretch.
Patrick, thanks for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. The track and field teams travel to Lynchburg for the Liberty Open, which starts on Friday. On Saturday, wrestling opens up Centennial Conference play by facing Merchant Marine and Muhlenberg at Kings Point. Back in Lexington, men's and women's swimming will take on Catholic in a dual meet. Women's basketball plays host to Hollins, and men's hoops will visit Lynchburg. For WNL Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.